They say Africa gets under your skin, gets in your soul. They ain't wrong. Nowhere is that truer than this little slice of heaven, the Ivory Coast. We're about to get into some serious stuff, my friends, the kind of journey that stays with you long after the bags are unpacked. Over the next few episodes, we're gonna hit 15 spots, ancient cities, stunning beaches, and lush landscapes. Getting around here, it's an adventure, not a checklist. Just remember, half the fun is getting lost. The Ivory Coast is your oyster, even on a budget. So, hit that subscribe button, kids. This is gonna be one hell of a ride. First up, Grand Bassam, this ain't just some dusty old colonial town, my friends. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. A ghost town whispering stories of a bygone era. French colonial architecture, crumbling facades, bougainvillea bursting like fireworks against the tropical sky. It's enough to make a poet out of the most cynical bastard. You can practically feel the history oozing out of the walls here. This was once the French colonial capital, a bustling port city, the artery of the Ivory Coast. Now, it's a haunting reminder of the ebb and flow of power, of empires built and lost. Getting here is a piece of cake. Hop on a bus from Abidjan, it's a straight shot, cheap and cheerful, and trust me, you'll want to spend some time soaking it all in. Wander the dusty streets, get lost in the labyrinthine alleys, and for God's sake, have a drink in one of those old colonial bars. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, Grand Bassam is a bit of a time capsule. It's faded grandeur, a whisper of what was. But that's part of its charm, isn't it? The ghosts of French traders and African kings still linger here. And if you listen closely, you might just hear them whispering their stories, tales of fortunes made and lost, of love and betrayal, of the intoxicating chaos of a port city on the edge of the world. This ain't Disneyland, folks. This is history, raw and uncut. You can wander for hours exploring the crumbling colonial buildings, the old trading houses, the remnants of a time gone by. And when you're done, grab a bite at one of the local restaurants. Fresh seafood, spicy stews, all washed down with an ice-cold beer. It's enough to make you want to miss your return flight. Next up, we're heading west, to a town that's about as different from Grand Bassam as you can get, San Pedro. This ain't no sleepy colonial relic. This is a city that hums, vibrates, and sweats. A wild mix of grit and glamour, where the jungle meets the sea. Think beaches that stretch on forever, coconut palms swaying in the breeze, and the air thick with the scent of salt and spices. This is a place where you can lose yourself in the rhythm of the waves, the taste of fresh seafood grilled right on the beach, and the energy of a city that never sleeps. San Pedro is a melting pot, a place where cultures collide and the party never seems to end. You'll find fishermen mending their nets alongside businessmen in suits, kids kicking a soccer ball down dusty streets, and music pouring out of every doorway. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. Now, getting around San Pedro, that's an adventure in itself. Taxis, buses, motorcycle taxis, hell, you can even hire a pirogue, one of those colorful wooden canoes, to take you on a tour of the lagoon. Just be prepared to haggle, my friends. It's all part of the game. And speaking of games, let's talk about nightlife. San Pedro doesn't disappoint. Bars, nightclubs, street food stalls pumping out Afrobeat and coupe de cow until dawn. This is a city that knows how to have a good time. But don't let the party atmosphere fool you. San Pedro is also a working city, a major port, and a place where life is lived on the streets. It's raw, it's real, and it's an experience that'll stay with you long after you've left. Yamoussoukro. Even the name sounds like something whispered by Graham Greene after one too many. This is a city of ambition, a place where dreams of grandeur took concrete form. And nowhere is this more evident than in the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace. Forget St. Peter's Cess, forget everything you think you know about scale and audacity. This basilica, this monument to faith and maybe a little bit of ego, is the largest church in the world. It's a site that'll make you question what humans are capable of, for better or worse. But Yamoussoukro isn't just about oversized architecture, it's a living, breathing city. You can find taxis and buses bustling with locals, the air thick with the scent of diesel and possibility. And the best part? You won't need a fistful of CFA francs to navigate this town. A few thousand will get you a decent meal, a cold drink, and a taste of that Ivorian hospitality. Yamoussoukro is the political heart of Ivory Coast, but don't expect a stuffy, bureaucratic landscape. This city thrums with a different kind of energy. It's in the street-side vendors hawking their wares, the laughter spilling out from open-air maquis, the rhythm of life that plays out on every corner. Spend an afternoon wandering through the markets. Bargain for intricately woven textiles, haggle over the price of fresh mangoes, and soak in the sights, sounds, and smells of daily life. This is the real Yamoussoukro, the one that pulsates beneath the surface of grand pronouncements and political maneuvering. And when the sun dips low, casting long shadows across the city, find yourself a table at a local maquis. Order a plate of grilled chicken or fish, a side of atieke, and wash it all down with an ice-cold flag beer. As you savor the flavors of Ivory Coast, surrounded by the murmur of conversation and the rhythmic thrum of music, you'll understand why Yamoussoukro, for all its contradictions and complexities, holds a certain undeniable charm. Abidjan, the economic engine of Ivory Coast, a city of contrasts where gleaming skyscrapers cast long shadows over sprawling markets and dusty streets. You can almost taste the ambition in the air, a heady mix of exhaust fumes, sea salt, and the sweat of a million dreams. This is a city that never sleeps, a place where the hustle is real and the rewards, well, they can be fleeting. But that's part of Abidjan's allure. It's a city that keeps you on your toes, always moving, always searching for the next opportunity. You'll find your way around in a blur of yellow and orange, the colors of the taxis that rule these streets. Negotiate your fare before you get in. A little friendly haggling is all part of the game. And speaking of games, Abidjan plays hard. When the sun goes down, the city comes alive with a frenetic energy. Nightclubs pulse with music, maquis overflow onto the sidewalks, and the night is young, or at least it pretends to be. Lose yourself in the labyrinthine alleys of the Treichville market. A riot of colors, smells, and sounds. It's a full-on assault on the senses. But trust me, it's an assault you want to experience. Bargain for everything from colorful fabrics and intricate carvings to spices that will make your taste buds sing. And when you need a break from the chaos, duck into a small restaurant for a plate of garba, cassava semolina served with grilled tuna, and a fiery onion sauce. Abidjan isn't just about the hustle, though. Find solace in the quiet beauty of St. Paul's Cathedral, its modernist facade a stark contrast to the surrounding chaos. Or escape the urban jungle altogether with a trip to Banco National Park, a breath of fresh air just minutes from the city center. This is a city that will challenge you, exhaust you, and ultimately captivate you. Abidjan is not for the faint of heart, but for those who dare to dive in. It offers a taste of West Africa at its most raw and exhilarating. Man. The very name evokes a sense of adventure, of venturing into the unknown. And trust me, this region of Ivory Coast is about as far from the concrete jungle of Abidjan as you can get. Here, the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and tropical flowers. Towering mountains, shrouded in mist, rise up from a sea of emerald green. This is the heart of Ivorian wilderness, a place where nature still reigns supreme. Getting to Man is an adventure in itself. Bush taxis, packed to the brim with people and produce, navigate winding mountain roads. But the journey, as they say, is half the fun. And once you arrive, prepare to be enchanted. Waterfalls cascade down sheer cliffs, their roar a constant symphony in the air. Monkeys swing through the trees, their calls echoing through the valleys. This is a place to reconnect with nature, to lose yourself in the raw beauty of the natural world. Hike through dense rainforests, the air alive with the sounds of exotic birds. Visit traditional villages where life moves at a slower pace and ancient traditions endure. Stand at the edge of the Cascade de Man, a breathtaking waterfall that plunges into a crystal-clear pool. Take a dip if you dare, the water is cool and invigorating. Man is a place to disconnect from the digital world and reconnect with something more primal. It's a place to breathe deeply. to savor the simple pleasures of life, and to remember what it means to be truly alive. You won't find five-star hotels or Michelin-starred restaurants here, but what you will find is something far more valuable. A chance to experience the raw beauty of Ivory Coast, a place where nature's embrace is both exhilarating and humbling. Forget your fancy resorts and pre-packaged safaris. Thai National Park is where you get swallowed whole by nature. This isn't Disneyland for nature lovers, it's raw and unforgiving. Dense rainforest, prehistoric, untouched. Feel the weight of thousands of years, thick with humidity and buzzing insects. Humans are just visitors in the domain of ancient creatures. Thai is a biodiversity hotspot, home to endangered animals. Pygmy hippos, forest elephants, and tool-using chimpanzees. You're not guaranteed to see them all, but that's the point. It's about the experience, the immersion, the humbling realization. Hire a local guide or go alone, but respect the jungle. It's not afraid to remind you who's boss. Now, getting to this lost world isn't for the faint of heart. You'll be ditching the tour buses and venturing into the heart of the Ivorian wilderness. Local taxis, or woro-woros, can get you to the park's edge. Once inside, embrace the slow pace of nature. Hiking trails wind through dense vegetation, all rewarding. Camp under the stars or find basic accommodation in nearby villages. This is about roughing it, about connecting with something real. And trust me, a cold beer has never tasted so good. It's a place to reconnect with your primal self. Sometimes you need a break from the chaos. Find yourself a slice of paradise. In Ivory Coast, that slice is Assini, pristine beaches, coconut palms, and crashing waves. A playground for the wealthy, a haven for respite. Luxury is a way of life here. Opulent resorts cater to your every whim. Lounge by infinity pools, sip cocktails, indulge in fresh seafood. Getting to this coastal haven is relatively painless. From Abidjan, a comfortable car ride will have you there in a couple of hours, the scenery shifting from bustling city to tranquil coastline. Of course, if you're prone to indulging, a helicopter transfer can be arranged because why not arrive in style? Once you're in Assini, transport is rarely a concern. The resorts and villas are self-contained universes offering everything you could possibly need. But if you do venture out, taxis are readily available, though be prepared to haggle, even in paradise. And speaking of indulgence, Assini doesn't come cheap. This is a place for those who appreciate the finer things in life, who understand that luxury comes at a price. But hey, you're on vacation, right? So go ahead, splurge a little, treat yourself to that beachfront massage, that bottle of champagne you've been eyeing. Life's too short to deny yourself a little pleasure, especially when you're in a place as breathtaking as Assini. Forget your mass-produced souvenirs. In Korhogo, the artistry is real. Tradition thrives here with ancient skills passed down through generations. Step into the markets, a riot of colors and scents. Hand-woven textiles tell tales of ancient myths and everyday life. Carved wooden masks watch you with knowing eyes. Haggle with artisans, their eyes twinkling with pride. The rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer, the steady hum of a loom. Getting to Korhogo is a journey in itself, a chance to see the real Ivory Coast unfold outside your window. Buses ply the routes from major cities, a chance to mingle with locals, to hear their stories, to share a laugh or two, even if you don't speak the language. Once you're in the city, walking is often the best way to soak up the atmosphere. Lose yourself in the maze-like streets, stumble upon hidden workshops, and discover treasures you never knew you were looking for. And the best part? Korhogo won't break the bank. Accommodation is affordable, local food is delicious and cheap, and the real cost is the time you'll spend haggling for that perfect piece of art, the one that speaks to your soul. So, ditch the guidebook, follow your curiosity, and let Korhogo work its magic. You might just discover a side of yourself you never knew existed, a newfound appreciation for the beauty of imperfection, the allure of the handmade, the stories whispered through generations. Bouake, the beating heart of the Ivory Coast, a city with a pulse you can feel in your teeth. You want to talk about festivals? This is your town. Day and night, the streets come alive with music, dancing, and colors. Bouake is a melting pot of flavors. Bush taxis are your chariot to navigate the city's charm. Buake is surprisingly affordable, trust me, it's priceless. Buake is more than just festivals and food. This city has seen its share of hardship, yet the spirit of the people shines through. You feel it in the way they greet you with a smile. It's a reminder that humanity finds a way to thrive, to find joy in everyday moments and keep hope alive. Buake should be at the top of your travel list. Come for the festivals, stay for the food, and leave inspired. Sassandra, a name that rolls off the tongue like the gentle waves lapping at its shores. This coastal town whispers tales of a bygone era, of a time when life moved at a slower pace. Stroll along the beach, watch the fishermen haul in their catch, or simply lose yourself in the tranquility. And if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of the elusive hippos in the Sassandra River. Getting to Sassandra is half the adventure. Hop on a bush taxi from Abidjan through rolling hills and verdant forests. Sassandra is a haven for budget-conscious travelers. Feast on fresh-caught seafood and sample the local brew. Experience authentic Ivorian life away from the tourist crowds. Come for the history, stay for the tranquility. Savor every moment in this coastal paradise. We're leaving behind the coast, trading the salty air for the smell of damp earth and wild things. This is Como National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the largest protected areas in West Africa. A sprawling tapestry of savanna, dense forests, and winding rivers. This ain't no zoo, folks. This is the real deal. Elephants lumbering through the grasslands, lions stalking their prey under the scorching sun, and chimpanzees swinging through the canopy. Como National Park is a biodiversity hotspot, home to over 135 mammal species, 500 bird species, and enough reptiles and insects to make your skin crawl. Exploring a place like this ain't for the faint of heart. You need a guide, someone who knows these lands like the back of their hand. The experience is worth every ounce of sweat and every nervous glance over your shoulder. This is nature in its rawest, most unforgiving form, a glimpse into a world untouched by the hand of man. To truly experience Como National Park, you gotta ditch the Jeep and get your boots dirty. Lace up those hiking boots, pack plenty of water, and prepare to be humbled by the sheer scale and beauty of this place. Trek through dense forests, navigate winding trails, and camp under the stars. Keep your eyes peeled for the park's smaller inhabitants too, and if you're lucky, you might even spot a hippopotamus or a family of warthogs. So, if you're looking for an adventure, pack your bags and head to Como National Park. Forget your fancy resorts and prepackaged tours. Mount Nimba ain't about that. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for a reason. It's raw, rugged, and teeming with life. Endemic species, creatures found nowhere else. Mother Nature in all her untamed glory. Lace up your boots, pack bug spray, and prepare to sweat. The reward, a view like no other. Now getting to Mount Nimba ain't like hopping on a double-decker bus tour. You're gonna have to work for it. Most folks fly into Abidjan, then catch a local bush taxi or minibus heading north. It's a bumpy ride, but that's part of the adventure. You can usually find guides and porters in nearby villages. They know the mountain well, and you'll want their expertise. They'll help you navigate, point out hidden waterfalls, and share local lore. Costs are low, with basic but decent accommodation. Food is cheap and hearty. Bring enough cash, no ATMs here. Haggling is expected, so negotiate a fair price. Aboiso. The name itself feels whispered, forgotten. This ain't your glitzy resort town, no sir. A sleepy town on the Bia River where colonial ghosts linger. Once a bustling ivory trade hub, now a world away from Abidjan. Time moves slow, marked by the river's gentle lapping. No trendy cafes, just raw authenticity. A glimpse into a disappearing way of life. Aboiso is a town best explored at a leisurely pace. Stroll along the riverbank as fishermen cast their nets. Visit the bustling local market. Sample exotic fruits and haggle for baskets. Hire a pirogue and explore the Bia River. Glide past villages hidden amongst the mangroves. Regular buses connect Aboiso to Abidjan. Enjoy affordable lodgings and hearty meals. Bring your curiosity and sense of adventure. Devo, you see, it's not just a dot on the map. It's a feeling, a rhythm, a place where the pulse of Ivorian life beats stronger. Taste it in the spicy peanut stews, hear it in the laughter of children. This is the real Ivory Coast, raw and unfiltered. Share a meal with locals, their hands stained red from palm oil. Devo is a sensory overload in the best way. The streets a kaleidoscope of color and chaos. A symphony of honking horns and street vendors. Lose yourself in the moment, forget the outside world. Divo is a town of complexities, ancient traditions meeting modern life. This is Africa, in all its messy, beautiful glory. Now, getting around Divo, it's an adventure in itself. Forget your Uber app and your air-conditioned taxis. Here you'll be navigating a labyrinth of dusty streets and shared taxis known as Woro-Woros. Crammed in with locals, chickens, maybe a goat or two. It's not always pretty, but it's an experience, believe me. And when it comes to budgeting, Divo is a breath of fresh air. A plate of atike poisson grill, that's grilled fish with cassava couscous, will set you back a couple of bucks. A cold flag beer even less. This is a place where you can live like a king on a shoestring budget. But here's the thing about Divo, it's not about the money, it's about the people. Their warmth, their generosity, the way they welcome you into their homes, share their food, their stories. It's a reminder that the best things in life, they're free. So come to Divo, get lost in the chaos, embrace the unknown. You might just find a piece of yourself you didn't know was missing. Bonduku, a name that whispers on the wind, carried across centuries. This ain't just another dusty town in the Ivorian hinterland. History seeps from the very stones, where ghosts of empires past linger. A crossroads of civilizations, a melting pot of cultures and religions, the northernmost point of the Ashanti Empire, a major trading post. Wander through the labyrinthine streets of the old city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Look closer, past the faded grandeur of crumbling colonial buildings, in the intricate designs of the mud brick mosques, a fusion of styles. In the vibrant colors of the hand-woven kente cloth, a tradition passed down. Bonduku is a living museum, a testament to human resilience, a place where the past is lived and breathed. Getting to Bonduku, it's not for the faint of heart. Here, you're back to basics. Bush taxis, bumpy roads, endless landscape. In Bonduku, you're not just a tourist, you're a pilgrim, a place where time moves slower. Bonduku rewards the intrepid traveler. The food is a delicious blend of influences, disconnect from the digital world, to be present, to be fully alive. So there you have it. From the bustling streets of Abidjan to the ancient mosques of Bonduku, Ivory Coast is a country that will challenge you, surprise you, and stay with you long after you've left. It's a place of incredible beauty, of vibrant cultures, of warm hospitality, a place that will make you question your assumptions, broaden your horizons, and leave you forever changed. If you're looking for an adventure, for a journey that will take you off the beaten path and into the heart of West Africa, then look no further than Ivory Coast. And hey, if you found this little journey through the lens of my words helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with your fellow adventurers. Until next time, keep exploring.